Hello everyone, welcome back. Savardis here, coming back with part 3 of What If Deku Had Air Cannon. Now, where we last left off, Izuku has decided to stay with Stain because he doesn't have any other place to do, and All Might starts searching about All for One, thinking that he is the one that kidnapped the kid Izuku Midoriya to do some experiment on him. And while that happening, All for One himself was watching the news and he's so satisfied with what he see. And before we get right into it, guys, don't forget like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. As right now, Izuku has, been with Stain for about 10 months, training day and night without any rest, always training on his skills, fighting skills, and also his quirk, Air Cannon. In the end, he developed a couple of new tricks, and also he'd start training with Stain into the point that, of course, every time Izuku was making a mistake, Stain was breaking one of his arms. As right now, let's get into right now the sun is setting and Stain has finally come back into the forest as he starts walking closely into the door of the hideout and immediately open it up as he said, "Izuku, where are you? I come back," as after that he said, "Izuku, come on, where are you?" As after that he closed the door behind of him and start getting, inside the hideout. In the end, he see Izuku sleeping on the table with some bandages around his left arm because he being damaged from the fights against Stain, and also just sleeping on his notebook. As Stain said, he did it again. Always just studying day and night, not giving himself any rest. As after that, Stain looking a little bit closer as he see the notebook. After that, he take it and he reading the notebook. He said, "Hero and villains analyzing notebook? What is this?" As he open it up and start reading. The number 2 hero endeavor, quirk, hell flame, weak point, water, ice, and other kind of liquids. How to defeat? Interesting. He have a lot of information about him, and might actually work. As he start going through the papers and getting surprised every time with how much information that Izuku have, how much time did he study them, and how much information does he have about all of those heroes and villains, as he finally got into 2 main pages. One for the hero killer Stain and the other one for Izuku himself, as he said, "Of course, he's making some information about me so he will be able to defeat me in the future. Well, this kinda interesting. Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna take you to finally kill your first hero." As after that, Stain just putting the notebook on the table and going to sleep by himself. And the next day, Izuku waking up in the morning and said, "Good morning, Stain." As after that, Stain said, "Good morning, Izuku. Now, wear this." As after that, Izuku said, "What?" As Stain immediately throwing on Izuku face some sort of an outfit. As Izuku said, "When did you get this?" As Stain said, "Don't worry about where did I get it. Now, put it on and let's get out. You will gonna kill your first hero today." As after that, Izuku said, Really? I thought that you said that you doesn't want me to kill any heroes yet because I'm too weak." As Stain said, "Well, I changed my mind. Now, put it on." As after that, immediately, Izuku going into the other room and putting his, of course, villain outfit on, as Stain looking at him wearing a kinda gray with a black outfit with the white gloves, and also a red belt around his waist, and also a red shoes. As Stain said, Gray colors looking so good on you, As after that, Izuku said, "Yeah, whatever. Now, who's exactly the hero are we gonna kill?" As Stain said, "And why do I know? You are the one that's gonna decide that." As after that, Izuku said, I'm gonna choose the hero?" As Stain said, "Yes. Tell me, aren't you the one that was putting informations about heroes day and night, as Stain just throwing into Izuku face the notebook. Izuku catching it and said, yeah, but I thought that you are. I'm not gonna always decide for you, Izuku. You gotta decide for yourself. Now, just keep in mind that I will not gonna give you 3 things. 1, I'm not gonna become your friend. 2nd, I'm not gonna always tell you that you are doing great. I'm gonna only tell you that you are doing a good thing when you are actually doing a good thing. And 3, I'm not gonna let you rest so much. Keep those 3 information in your head. And an extra one, I'm not gonna help you with killing the heroes that you will gonna choose. They are your kills and you are the one that will gonna kill them. So if you died or you've been captured by the heroes, keep in mind that I'm not gonna go through the trouble to get you out of Tartarus. As after that Izuku said, alright. As Izuku started going through the notebook, as he said, how about Death Arms? As after that Stain said, Death Arms? I'm not gonna question your reasons, but let's go. And after that, Izuku and Stain start jumping on the trees until they finally got into the city. Izuku right now putting, of course, the metal mask on his face so no one will gonna see him. After that, Izuku said, so now we should search for this, the heroes, Death Arms. From what I have here, he normally, running through this area doing his, just looking for villains. As Stain said, looking for villains, huh? Well, how about we give him some villains? And after that, immediately, Stain just jumping into one of the alleyways as he see 3 goons just dealing with drugs. As the guy said, hey, what are you doing here? Who are you? As Stain said, sorry, but I'll have to get you out of here now. And after that, Stain immediately jump on them and slash them, paralyzing them, and immediately coming back on top of the roof and throwing them all into the street. As Izuku said, did you really just do that? As Stain said, you said that he will gonna come if you killed someone or if you had a villain here. So, someone being killed in the middle of the street, I'm sure that people will gonna think that there is a villain. As after that, Izuku said, alright. And after that, finally, Death Arms come into the place as he said, what's happened here? As one of course, the police officer come closer to him and said, well, we really doesn't know, Death Arms. Suddenly, that's, these 3 bodies has fall from the sky. Fall from the sky? Seriously? Just like that? As the police officer said, yeah, we really doesn't know what's happened, but as immediately Death Arms feeling something and he pushing the hero out, of course the police officers out of the way, and suddenly a strong air guts hitting him directly through his chest, throwing him into a building. As after that, Death Arms getting himself out of the wall as he said, what was that? As he immediately opened his eyes and see in front of him a kid with some air coming out of his body. He's more like steaming than just air going around of him. As Izuku said, your worst nightmare. As after that, Death Arms said, who are you, kid? As after that, Izuku said, you can say that I'm the one that killed those three people. Now, I came for you, Death Arms. As Death Arms said, for me? Well, whatever is your ideas or whatever you want. I'm not gonna just stand there while you will gonna attack people. And after that, Death Arms immediately jump on Izuku, throwing a punch into him. Immediately, Izuku dodging this attack into the left and throwing an air gust into the body of Death Arms, throwing him into a car. After that, immediately jumping after him as he said, air gun, as he immediately starts shooting some bullets of air on Death Arms. Death Arms crossing his hand together to block this attack, but immediately the bullets start to slash his body too much as he immediately jumped into the air and going down on Izuku. Izuku seeing him going so, fast on him, he immediately pushing himself with an air cannon back, dodging the attack of air, of course, of Death Arms, immediately coming closer into him and said, "Air punch!" as Izuku covering his arm with like some sort of an air, and immediately once he put his hand on the body of course, Death Arms, he shoot the air out of his punch into the body of Death Arms, throwing him up in the air, and immediately jumping after him as he got hold of his head and immediately kick him in his head, throwing him back into the ground as Izuku right now falling from the sky, immediately putting his fingers in front of his face, just like he doing with One for All in the canon anime, immediately starts shooting more bullets of air on Death Arms until he finally starts slashing him, and in the end, Izuku just fall into the body of Death Arms and smash him even harder into the ground, as he right now standing on the top of the body of Death Arms as he said, "You're done for." As after that, Death Arms said, "I'm not done yet. I'm not gonna let you get out with this." As after that, immediately Izuku covering his right arm with another air punch and getting ready to throw the final hit, he said, "It's over for you." As immediately after that, before he managed to do anything, a wood tentacle hitting Izuku by the side of his stomach, throwing him on the side of a building, as Izuku, shaking his head a little bit and open his eyes as he see in front of him Kamui Woods helping Death Arms to stand up. As Kamui said, "Death Arms, are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay, but this kid, he's so dangerous. And that look in his eyes, he want to kill. He really want to kill. Now, we should just try to stay away from him, Kamui." As after that, Kamui said, "Alright, you, kid, why are you doing this? Why are you throwing your life into that dark path on such a young age? Don't you think this is quite a waste?" As Izuku said, "A waste? A waste of what exactly?" "A waste of a talent. I saw your fight against Death Arms. Why don't you stop this and come with us? We can, give you a chance to maybe become a hero." As Izuku said, "A hero? Great. A hero." Such a funny joke. "No, I'm more likely we're gonna become a villain on this rate." As immediately after that, Izuku said, "How about I show you that I will never gonna become a hero?" As after that, Stain seeing the look in Izuku's eyes, he decided to go back a little bit. So much a little bit. As after that, Izuku covering his left arm with wind going right from his shoulder into his wrist as he said, "Air cannon!" as he immediately throwing his hand forward, and Kamui Woods seeing this massive amount of air going right at him, he immediately making a wall of wood in front of him to protect himself and also Death Arms, but that with no help, as the whole city in front of Izuku starts collapsing and the whole city block being destroyed. And after that, Kamui Woods standing up so damaged, and he also lost his left arm, with of course Death Arms is kinda a little bit in a better state than him because he was covered by his wood. As he said, "What the hell are you?" As Izuku said, "Me? You know what, I actually never choose my villain name yet. Let's say, how about Windstorm? You can call me Windstorm. The last thing that you will gonna ever see in your life. Come away." As after that, Izuku immediately going right at Kamui Woods and throwing an air punch into his chest, throwing making a hole inside his chest, and the blood fly out of the back of Kamui Woods and falling into the face of Death Arms, as Death Arms finally getting consciousness again, as he said, "What's happened?" As he only see Izuku putting his hand through the chest of Kamui Woods, as he said, "No!" As immediately he just fall on his face the moment that he tried to stand up. As Izuku said, "Sorry, but will make sure that you will gonna go after your friend." As after that, before Izuku managed to go on Death Arms, suddenly Mount Lady kicking him directly in his body, throwing him away, as she right now in her big form and said, "Are you okay, Death Arms?" As Death Arms said, "He killed Kamui." As of course Mount Lady said, "Don't worry, the heroes are in their way. All Might will gonna come very soon." And after that, immediately Izuku throwing another air cannon on Mount Lady. Mount Lady crossing her hand together, blocking this attack because Izuku wasn't using his full power. In the end, she going right at him and throwing a kick into his body, throwing him away. Izuku getting hold of him by using his wind and immediately stand on the ground again, as more police officers and more heroes start to come into the place, and more importantly, the number one hero, All Might, as All Might said, "I am here. Kid, give up right now. You are surrounded by heroes. Now, go with us in the easy way or I'm gonna have to stop you." As after that, Izuku looking left and right and seeing all of those heroes, and he immediately decided to just go on his knees and said, "Alright, I give up. I give up on fighting," as he just putting his hands on the ground. And after that, All Might said, "Good," as he start walking closer into Izuku, but immediately Izuku said, "But I will gonna run instead," as he immediately his hands start to cover with the wind, and immediately he said, "Air fountain," as he immediately stabbed his hand into the ground, and immediately the ground around the place start to crack as an air fountain start to come out of the ground, and with such a strong power. And after that, the cars of the police officers start to fly in the air, and police officers and heroes start to start falling from the ground from the air guts that just hitting him from under their legs. All Might seeing all of this, he start to try to save everyone. In the end, Izuku taking this chance and start running away. After that, immediately All Might said, "Damn it, he ran away. Well, at least I managed to save most of the people here." As after that, he looking back as he see, of course, none other than Kamui Woods, dead, and of course Death Arms just holding his body crying, as he said, "He killed him, and he wasted his life to save mine. Damn it." As after that, All Might said, "Don't worry, Death Arms. We will gonna get that kid in the next time. We will gonna get revenge for your friend Kamui Woods, and we will gonna put him in Tartarus." As of course, immediately All For One looking down, and All Might's looking down and said, "Now let me take you into the infirmary to heal you." As after that, immediately All Might just taken Death Arms into somewhere to heal him. And after that, getting closer into the chief of police and also the detective, as the detective said, "So what do you think?" As All Might said, "This destruction, this abilities, and this wind. He's the one that's having the quirk. He's the one that did that destruction in the building." As after that, immediately the chief of police said, "Well, looks like that All For One is actually give his quirk into someone else. Such a surprise." As after that, All Might said, "But why All For One will gonna give his quirk into someone? It was his favorite quirk. It can't be just that easily." As after that, immediately the chief of the detective said, "We really doesn't know, All Might, but that kid had a white hair and red eyes. Don't you think that he remind you by the same kid of Inkumadoria?" As All Might said, "You mean that All For One just took the kid and..." Yes, that's what we are talking about, All Might. Maybe he manipulated him or changed in his mind something, so he will gonna make him some sort of a weapon for him." As after that, All Might said, "Damn it, can All For One become even more cruel than that?" As after that, detective said, "Well, we're not sure. We only saw his eyes and his hair. Maybe he's not the same kid. Maybe there's not a lots of people with white hair and red eyes in Japan, but it's still a possibility that it's not the same kid." As after that, All Might said, "I wish. Well, I'm gonna leave. Tell me if you ever, knew anything new, alright?" As after that, the detective said, "Alright, All Might." Immediately, All Might just jump away and leave the place. And while that happening, Izuku and Stain has finally came back into the hideout. As Izuku said, "Damn it, I couldn't defeat him." As after that, of course, Stain said, Well, you couldn't defeat him, and you failed the mission, as immediately Stain throwing a knife on Izuku, but Izuku immediately getting hold of it before he managed to, stab into Izuku's body, as Izuku said, yeah, so what? Next time I'm gonna kill that Death Arms. As after that, Stain said, good, good. Now, let's talk about your failure. And we will gonna go back into your training tomorrow. You will not gonna go with me to kill some heroes for the next week. As after that, Izuku said, whatever. And in the end, Izuku going inside the hideout with Stain to train a little bit on himself and to just rest. While that happening on the other side, on the dark side of things, All For One just sitting on his throne, resting his head on his right arm, watching the news, as he cannot only to smile so wildly and so brightly. He cannot hold his smile anymore. He just seeing the news and seeing how Izuku using his abilities, as he only seeing in his mind, wind, this abilities, this power, air cannon, air bullets, air fountain, all these techniques and all this different kind of abilities, and the way that he using them, the way that he's so smart on how he using them, and how he always decided to do the right thing. He ran away when he knew that he couldn't defeat All Might. He fought it against Kamui Woods and also Death Arms, throwing all of his power on both of them, because those are two heroes and both of them were in front of him. So he decided to throw one rock on two birds, to say the least. And when Mount Ladu came closer to him, Izuku decided to push her and make her fall on her back, so she will gonna make more destruction by herself and by her big body. After that, All For One just said, he even more better than I expected. A lot better than I expected. As the Dr. Ujiko said, well, looks like your son is really getting hold of the quirk, Master. Yeah, really. He's so talented with it, even more than I expected. He even managed to kill a hero on his first time. Not only that, but he managed to run away without any hero to track his... Of course, to track him down or anything. Well, this is really interesting and I'm really excited right now. As after that, Dr. Ujiko said, so, Master, when are we gonna exactly get Izuku on our side? As All For One said, oh, stay patient, Dr. Ujiko. It's still so soon to get him on our side. Let him train a little bit with Stain. And when the right time will gonna come, we will gonna get him on our side. But for now, let him enjoy himself. And this is I'm gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this part. And what do you think will gonna happen in the next part? Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.